Hello, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is PoppinCulture Movie Reviews. My guest today is comedian Tyler O'Brien. The movie that we'll be reviewing is Napoleon Dynamite. This is a 100% spoiler review, but before we spoil the movie, Tyler, do you think they should watch it?
100%. Every single day. Thanks for having me on again, by the way, Michael. Yeah, it's been my favorite movie since the first time I saw it, pretty much.
Nice.
It's ridiculous and it's absurd and it doesn't apologize for being so. It's just it's kind of a love story for every nerd everywhere and bizarre. I don't know that I've seen a movie that's like it. I guess the best comp I could give is like Hot Rod and Benchwarmers are a couple films that are of the similar vein, but
yeah.
It's just it's a story of a geeky guy and his hodgepodge group of friends just navigating high school life.
Nice. All right, guys, everything past this point is 100% spoilers, and just like Tyler, I totally agree you guys should watch it. My first question when it comes to this film is the setting.
Yeah.
I want to say this movie is set in Ohio, I believe.
I think it's Idaho.
I'm sorry. Idaho. He's right. I'm wrong. Idaho. With this movie being set in Idaho, do you think it makes it better?
Oh yeah, it's almost like it's another planet almost because it's just such a weird setting and it's also like got this 80s vibe to it. So it's like this small town in the middle of nowhere, America, but it could be any small suburb town. It's, Idaho's just the drop, the drop for it, but it could be any small town where not a lot's going on and it's just awkward teenage years in the 80s. So I think it's funny that it's Idaho because it's like, why? But also it's like, it creates kind of this any place USA kind of vibe to it. I mean, the fashion and stuff is, Napoleon's got his own sense of fashion too with his wolf shirts and his prom selection, what he goes for with that, and just the different stores and stuff. I feel like I could go to a number of small towns in South Carolina and see the kind of same street they walk down to go to Rex Kwon Do or go to the thrift shop. Like, I feel like I've been to a thrift shop like that in South Carolina or outside of Charlotte too.
Go to Winsboro, South Carolina.
Yes, exactly. Like, I'll go through Orangeburg and I'm like, this could be the same setting for Napoleon Dynamite. So it's just a little, I guess the only difference is it's like got kind of a more of a Midwestern kind of like broad stroke to it. But no, it's like just any place America.
Yeah, it's like the thrift store, the mom and pop store, that setting of the 80s, right before Walmart comes and kills everything.
Yeah. It was all these small kind of stores. But that's kind of what gives it the quaintness too, is like he goes to this thrift shop and there's like a knife right next to a home video. Like he's got this tiny like ninja knife and then he looks next to it and he finds his dancing VHS, which he ends up using later on. But he just puts it on and it's like watching a Tybo video. So you're like transported all of a sudden to the 80s and it's really fun. But like just looking at the assortment of stuff they put in that thrift store and it's like I said, that's like this, even to the yellow school bus, like how the movie starts off and he has the action figure. He's like, what are you going to do today, Napoleon? Whatever I feel like, gosh. And he just ties a G.I. Joe and throws it out the back of a bus, which is the best intro for any movie I've ever seen. Like, why? Because the director decided that.
Yes, definitely. And we get to the characters, starting with Napoleon. The actor's name skips my brain.
John Heder.
John Heder.
Who's a Mormon, which is interesting.
Really?
You might have not known that. Yeah, he's a Latter-day Saints guy.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a Mormon.
He's still a devout Mormon to this day.
Okay, cool. I've been to one of their churches before.
Church of Latter-day Saints?
Yeah, I've been to, like, is that the... I think that was it. Yeah, the Mormon.
It's the same thing. It's just the fancy way of saying Mormon.
Yeah, that's right. They were super nice, man. But then, like, this woman came up to me after their service and was like, yeah, this is good for you. You know, black people couldn't be Mormons a couple of years ago.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that...
And she said it so straight-faced that I was like, man, this is a bit that she's working hard on. But then I realized,
she was just telling you the truth.
And I just never went back.
They're like, I'm surprised you were able to go to one because a lot of times they'll put up these Mormon temples and stuff, and you have to like know somebody who knows somebody. Get like,
I did know someone that knows somebody.
Okay, that's what it is.
But it was, and they were, like I said, nobody said anything like very rude to me.
Yeah,
it was more of she said it, and she was just like, yeah.
If you I don't know if you listened to the last podcast on the left before, but they do a whole 3-episode arc on Mormonism and
okay.
I'm not gonna yuck someone's yum or but decide for yourself. Listen to that. There's a lot of stuff about Mormonism that's very interesting, and it's got a weird history to it. But yeah, he's Mormon, so that's something about John Heder. But he's been in a lot of good movies too. Like he was in Benchwarmers, like I was talking about. He's a funny guy. Don't know what he's doing now. I don't think he's been in anything in the last 10 years.
Doing the Mormon stuff, I guess.
Yeah, just being Mormon. Just being Mormon.
We're gonna get to the movie, guys. I promise. But I grew up with Jehovah's Witness. I'm not one now, but I grew up with Jehovah's Witness, and I remember people used to really compare us to Mormon.
I think they couldn't be further apart, right?
Yeah, because we believe in air conditioning. We're not we're not riding a bike to your house. Well,
And not having multiple wives. I mean, polygamy is not really a thing in Jehovah's Witnesses either, right?
No, not at all. You gotta stick with that. That's a big thing in Mormons.
Polygamy, yeah. This is turning into a Mormonism discussion.
No, we'll get off the top. We'll get off the top. Just my fiance wouldn't go with that. That's a little sad. My brain was like,
you're thinking about, do I want to be? You don't want to be a Mormon.
No. I mean, I don't win arguments in my house now. Can you imagine, three of them ganging up? No, do not want that. So, yeah, when it comes to that character, and then the Uncle
Rico?
And then the brother Chip.
Yeah.
Kip.
K-I-P.
Kip. Just staying on that three family dynamic. That is really what it's like when you see a family in a small town.
Yeah.
I know that person, that old guy that still thinks he really living his high school years.
My dad's guilty of it sometimes.
Okay.
He'll bring people over and show his old high school football tapes all the time. I'm like, all right, you're being Uncle Rico now, man.
When it came to the pervy stuff, it's just that guy is real.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's in prison now.
Kip? You mean Kip with the...
No, the uncle. The
when he had
the rapey stuff.
Yeah, the Tupperware stuff. Sales stuff. He's like, we could have you about right here. It's like, oh, dude. But they don't apologize for the way he acts. They just kind of they just show you could see any weird, creepy uncle being like that in any small town. And they don't glorify it. They just point out how freaking ridiculous he is. He does get his ass beat up by Rex Kwon Do because he's trying to hit on Starla at the end of the movie, or towards the end of the movie. But, hitting on the high school kids and stuff. Wish it wasn't a real thing, but it's funny because everybody knows some weird, creepy guy in their small town that's like that.
If you talk to any woman, no matter the age, they have a story of a guy like that. And it's sad, and hopefully it's something that it will stop happening soon. When it comes to the brother Kip, when it comes to the brother Kip, I think they used him the best way they could in this movie. He's not overused, but he's used enough.
Yeah. The best scene in the movie is when, he's like, hey, Kip, you ate the rest of the fucking chips, Kip. Or you ate the rest of the flipping chips, Kip. And he's like, Napoleon, you're just jealous because I've been training how to cage fight all day. He's like, what? And he says, come down here and see what happens. He said, what? Come down here and see what happens. And Napoleon walks down, and he just slaps the ever-living daylights out of him and runs away. And it's... Again, like the rest of the movie, that scene didn't have to be there, but they were just like, "What's something ridiculous Kip could do too?" And he's so lovable because he's just got those high white socks and stuff, and he's nerdy glasses, and you think he's making up LaFonda and meeting someone online, and then when LaFonda shows up, you remember the footsie scene?
Yep.
I can't watch it to this day without it's smelling mayonnaise to me is it's just so he's got these yellowish socks and they're playing footsie, so I'm like, why would you do that? But it doesn't make me not like Kip. And also, did you know there's have you seen the scene at the end of the where they have their wedding and everything?
Yep.
A lot of people don't know this, but if you watch till the end, after the credits they have the wedding scene between LaFonda and Kip, and that is, I didn't know about it the first few times I watched the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because I watched it in middle school.
Okay.
I watched it with my best friend. Shout out to Thomas Murray, best friend from high school. We watched that, and then I think for the next month we watched it probably 20 times. But until about our third viewing, we didn't even realize after the credits they had that whole scene.
Nice.
Which is pretty. But Kip is, I think, my favorite character out of all of them. I think he's kind of got a sweetness to him that's kind of hard not to love.
True. When it comes to that, like when you say he was trained to be a UFC fighter,
Yeah.
like I love the fact that like they never like expressed any of the lies he told Lavonda.
Yeah.
Because like there's no way he told her like the exact truth and she just went with it.
Yeah. But she shows up and she's really into him. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess they were like, that was before Tinder was a thing. They were all about it. So Napoleon Dynamite was ahead of the curve a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, that was before Tinder. That's right.
That was way before Tinder.
That's not even Plenty of Fish. I don't know.
That was like, I don't know. That was before OkCupid probably even.
Yeah, that's dial-up internet.
He was chatting on AOL, IIM with her or something.
Yes. He was on AIM trying to get
He's like the ripped Kipster 69 or something.
Yes.
Actually, he did have a screen name. I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember right now either. But it's just so many little detailed jokes that every time you rewatch this movie, you see something new, and that's what I really enjoy about it.
Oh yeah.
Then we get to the high school, and Pedro and do you remember the female's name? The girl.
Summer.
I don't know why I want to say
Summer
spring.
Wheatley.
Yes, Summer.
Vote for Summer.
Summer was just like the biggest bitch. Like
yeah, but that's so when I talked about like it was like the everyday nerdy hero. They didn't glorify Uncle Rico. He was the butt of jokes a lot of the time. And the same thing with Summer and like her boyfriend Don. Remember like the meathead jock guy that was like, "Give me some of your tots, Napoleon.
Yeah.
Give me some of your freaking tots." And he punched him in the pocket and squished all his taters.
Yep.
Which I just can't get over that he brought a bunch of tater tots to prom in an envelope. I hadn't thought about it for a while, but that is so funny to me that he keeps tater tots in his pockets and in an envelope. But
you never know, man.
yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. you know, I don't hate it. Sometimes I wish I had tots and I don't have tots. But
I wish I had tots.
Sometimes I wish I had tots and I don't have tots. He always was ready. He's always strapped with the tots. You know,
strapped. Yeah.
He's totted up from head to toe. But Don and Summer were like, they weren't likable. She was a total but everyone knew that person in high school.
Yes.
That popular girl or the popular jock dude that was a meathead and an idiot that you just didn't like. Even if you were a jock, you didn't think you were that person.
Yes.
And that was actually Hilary Duff's older sister that played her.
Yep.
I have no idea who Don was. Just
and the world doesn't know either.
Maybe Val Kilmer's son. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Wow. Yeah, maybe.
Right? That's the best guess I have.
And that's pretty spot on, too.
Yeah. Mini Val.
Now, before we get to Pedro, because he is the fish out of water.
Yeah.
Out of all their different characteristics, just talking about those characters, didn't all of them feel like they were supposed to be in that little town? Like they're all different stereotypes, but they all still fit into
even Deb too. Like she was the kid trying to get out to college, and like she was like really smart but not unappreciated. Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah,
and I love that kind of storytelling.
Small town in Idaho.
Yeah, because like they could have definitely made the jock like totally like okay, maybe he shouldn't be in this town.
Yeah,
but everyone from the dialogues to the way they acted, everyone kept that same small town feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that was very well done in this film. Then we get to Pedro.
Yeah.
And explain Pedro.
So we get introduced to Pedro when the principal comes up and asks Napoleon to show the new kid around school. And Pedro's like, I don't think it really explains his background so much. But he's obviously a Hispanic guy. I'm assuming his family moved from Mexico. Or maybe in this, southwest LA. Who knows? It doesn't. I don't know that it goes into detail.
I think they say he was a foreign exchange student.
I don't even know he's a foreign exchange student because later in the movie, his cousins pick him up in that in the low riding like convertible. Okay. I think it was like a Camaro or something with like hydraulics, and they're doing the whole thing. Yeah. But it kind of like he's a new student, speaks pretty broken English and stuff, but immediately just gets along with Napoleon, and they have no business being best friends, but they just hit it off right away, and they bond over the sledgehammer bike. Yep. It's a sledgehammer, and he just the first scene you see them kind of hanging out is like they're just both really goofy guys, kind of misfits, but like just really like each other's company. And the first thing you see is them building a ramp in their front yard. It's like some crap I would do in high school, and doing jumps off of the ramp on the sledgehammer bike. And Napoleon's like, yeah, you got like 6 feet of air that time. When he got 2 feet of air, but they just really like, I remember being the kid that's either been told, hey, hang out with these kids while you're new to the school, or like, hey, there's a new kid coming in and show him around and stuff. And especially him being Hispanic and, like you said, like an all-white backdrop and stuff in the middle of Idaho, he's very much like, it's like he sticks out with a sore thumb, but he's also so like kind throughout the movie. And they never really like, they don't really address race in that way. Like I don't think no one's ever mean to him in that regard, or like, the only thing I think they like point at it is like with the piñata scene where they're beating the crap out of the Summer piñata, and like the principal gets mad at them. But I mean, I don't think they ever like.
I think when Summer at the end of the movie, when Summer's like, "Do you want chimichangas every day, or you vote for me and you'll have Summer every day?"
I thought she said she was going to give them chimichangas. Did I misread that? I was very...
She said he was going to give them chimichangas every day. Do you want to eat... You're right. Do you want to eat chimichangas every day, or you can vote for me and every day will be Summer?
Oh,
yeah.
That's not good. But she's supposed to be an asshole.
Yes.
I always thought... See, this is the problem with watching a movie when you're middle school and not getting the proper context. But I always thought that she was saying she was going to bring it back to lunch. But if that's the case, fuck you, Summer. I already hated you anyway. It's whatever. I vote for Pedro because if I do that, all of my wildest dreams will come true.
Yes.
So,
yes. Dude, how many times in your life have you seen that shirt?
The vote for Pedro one?
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, it's every Halloween you see at least one.
Yeah, I've seen it at least 100 times, Matt.
I think it's a good Halloween costume regardless. I think it's more fun when I had my good friend from high school did Uncle Rico, and he got like a gold chain, and he found the blue shirt and everything, and he got like a little fake tripod and camera and was like filming himself throwing the football on the front lawn.
He was dedicated to this.
Oh yeah, he went all in. He was,
for
bet you I
real.
could throw a football over the mountains. Back in '83, man, I'd take state.
Nice. Wow, that's some dedication. Good for him, man.
Yeah, he. I don't know where he was gonna send those films. By the way, it was.
See, that's the dedication I want, dude. I went to a Halloween party, and my girl was sick, but I told my friend I would go, and I went.
Yeah.
And have you seen the movie Juice?
I don't know that I have.
It's one of Tupac's films.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I haven't seen it.
Okay, and he has the high-low, and the guy had the high-low haircut and everything. He had the jacket. He was killing it. He looked like Tupac, man, and then he showed me his gun, and I was just like, all right, it's time to go. This is
an actual gun?
Yeah, real gun.
It wasn't a prop gun.
No, it was not prop at all.
I was like, dude, you're a little too into care. That's method acting, though. What are you gonna do? I mean, what are you gonna do? He's dedicated to his character. I mean,
it went from, hey man, let me get a picture, to, hey man, I'll catch you later.
Yeah. Hey, good costume.
Yeah. Oh.
Was he at a costume party?
Yeah, he was at. It was like a house party, Halloween party, and he was just like, he went to take the picture. He put his arm around me, and then he just pulls the gun out. I was just like, took the quick picture. Like, all right, time to go.
Did you know this guy personally, or you just?
He's a friend of a friend. He didn't own the house, so he didn't like the fact that he had the gun. I was just like, time to go.
He was like, what kind of house party? This is a costume party.
Yeah, it was not in the best neighborhood. And
still,
yeah.
That's not a good party gift to bring, I don't think, to somebody's house party they invite you to.
I know Lil P came out. I was like, you drinking Hennessy too? Nothing good happens after 3 cups of Hennessy. Sorry for getting sidetracked, guys. But yeah, when it comes to the music, how do you like the music in this film?
Oh, I mean, it intros with I Can Tell We're Gonna Be Friends by the White Stripes, Jack White. And it's got the whole, like, the intro was just like, they used to do credits at the beginning of movies. Remember how it always used to be like the whole, like, first 5 minutes of the film, they would show all the intro credits and all the actors. And I don't know why they switched away from it. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just, but they did that whole scene with, like, on the pencil. It's like, and then it gets erased and it's showing everybody's name. And it's doing the Walk With Me, Susie Lee. And it's just a beautiful song. And I hadn't heard of the White Stripes. I was a young kid, and that song is amazing. And then they got all these 80s songs mixed throughout. When they're at prom, it's like you got like the Depeche Mode kind of vibe. Or at the end when he's doing the tetherball. And she walks up and he's like, I caught you a delicious bass. And he just starts going to town on the tetherball. And it's when you're in doubt and when you're in danger. Man, I always end up singing on your podcast. I don't know what it is.
You should do voices on stage, man. You can do voices pretty well, bro.
I can do Bulbasaur, but that was for the previous Pokemon thing we were. I should have busted those out. I try to incorporate it. I do a little Christopher Walken on stage. I do a little bit of.
Can we hear it?
Christopher Walken? The reason I think you should watch Napoleon Dynamite is it's my favorite movie, personally.
That's on point, man.
Thank you.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's my one talent. It's the one thing I can do right. You love me yet, Mom? It is the party trick. Anytime like family, like we're having dinner or something, he's like, "Do the walking."
That's your mom?
Both they just love it. What are you gonna do?
I mean, it's funny now, but I can only imagine at one point in your life, you're like, all right, now I'm tired of doing this now. I don't come here. I don't visit for this.
Yeah. Well, that's the life of a comic. People are like, hey, tell us a joke. It's like, hey, do my taxes, attorney guy.
Yeah, pretty much. Just stick around. I'll say something funny eventually.
Yeah, eventually. It's probably in your direction. Or
It's going to be mean.
Yeah.
When it comes to the pacing, how do you feel like it was paced?
Oh, I think that's what draws me to the movie still, and what I've always liked is that each scene is just like, it tells a threaded story, but each scene's just like this random thing. Like it goes from his grandma getting her coccyx broken, and it shows her doing the dune buggies, to immediately the next scene is him feeding Tina the llama, and they don't do too much exposition. Like the exposition of the movie is told through just learning these characters. So it's a lot of character work without a ton of plot. Like the plot to the movie is pretty simple. Guy meets foreign exchange student, likes this girl with a side weird hair. Foreign exchange student guy runs for vice president. Napoleon kills it on a dance. They go to prom. Girl falls for guy. And their uncle's annoying and kind of an antagonist. The plot's really easy. The whole movie is just following these little kind of, anthologies almost. They're almost like a bunch of tiny episodes put into a movie. It's like,
wow, yeah, that's perfect way you put that. Yeah,
it's like a bunch of like 5-minute YouTube videos. Like if you took like The Lonely Island, how they do like 5-minute videos, but if you just threaded them into something that tells a larger story, it's the same thing. So it's just like getting to know these characters through little anecdotes from their life. And their life just happens to be bizarre and kooky and strange, and you can just take little snippets from their day, and it feels like you're just like watching these dorky weirdos live their life, but they're just like random stories from throughout their week and cut into it's like a collage that's put together.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, that's perfect. I can't explain that any better.
Yeah, I wrote that in my, I was doing a whole thesis. No, I just made that up. It sounded smart though. So
yeah, I mean that is the movie in a nutshell. I didn't even think about that.
It's just a bunch of small bits that tell the story of a dorky guy and his group of friends and people that he runs into in life.
Yeah, that's true. In the small city the small town in Ohio. Iowa.
Wherever, Midwest USA.
Yes, yeah.
Whereverville.
Yes. 1 through 10, what would you give this film?
For me personally, a 10. I think just the amount of laughter I get from it every time. Like you said, every time you watch it, you can catch a new thing within it that makes you laugh. Probably like cinematic-wise and acting-wise, a 10 also. But I'm biased. Watch it for yourself. But if it's very light fun. It's one of those movies you can put on if it's late at night, and if you fall asleep, it's whatever. It's not like sitting down to watch Tenet or sitting down to watch, one of the Marvel movies where it's really involved, which I love as well. But it's not like, I'm sitting down to watch this very cerebral psychological thriller, which is a genre I love. But it's like, if I watched it in middle school, I don't think there's an age where they're too young, because there are jokes in there that are probably meant for adults, but the stuff that's there, it's not like a lot of like swearing and stuff. It's not like they're cussing right and left. It's not like there's blood or gore. It's just the stuff that is probably not age appropriate is going to go over the young people's heads anyway. So it's, in a weird way, a family movie, I guess. Would you say? Maybe.
Yeah, I would definitely say. I think it's a family movie.
Yeah, but it's also, holds water enough if you're an adult that you can appreciate. Like, also, like, I feel like it made me nostalgic for the 80s, even though I wasn't born until 93. But I was like, oh man, the 80s were awesome. I loved prom and listening to Flock of Seagulls. but they had long been gone when I was born, you know. But it's just the aesthetic in the movie is great. The acting's hysterical, and it's heartwarming too. It's this dorky guy meets a girl who he ends up falling for and gets to dance with at prom, and nobody's really besides Uncle Rico, but he's like the jerk that deserves to get he loses, but he loses because he has to take a step back out of his pride and out of his horrible actions, and he gets consequences. So it's a good message. I think it's a funny ass movie, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. Probably a dumb question, but I gotta ask: do you believe that this movie has become a part of pop culture?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's when you talk about cult classics, I think it's kind of right up there with like Donnie Darko, other cult classics. Like I like another movie that I think different vibe completely, but like Shape of Water. It didn't win all the Oscars. It was nominated for stuff. These are three different completely genres I'm talking about. But these movies that people just will stand by, like they're their favorite movie. Caddyshack's kind of like that.
Okay.
I think it's like a Caddyshack for younger people in my generation in a way.
Okay. Cool. I was thinking more like putting this movie in like the box of like Juno or Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Well, it's very indie too. Yeah. Oh, or Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, another movie that I really love.
Me too.
Yeah. It's a really good movie.
Yes.
I hope somebody talks with you about that movie at some point too.
I can't wait either, man. Just to be like, you think Chris Evans was cool then?
Yeah.
I mean, now he was cool back then.
Oh yeah. And I mean, my Instagram bio is a Michael Cera type. It's like what it says in my About Me.
When you come to Greenville, I'll show you this guy that looks just like Michael Cera. He's a funny guy too. He's a funny comedian. But like first time I saw him on stage, I was like, "Yo, do y'all know
Are you Michael Cera? It's Michael Cera."
I literally turned to one of my friends, T-Links. I was like, "Yo, do you know who's on stage right now?"
Do you remember when in This Is the End when he was like doing all the cocaine and just became a real jerk to everybody? Yeah. That's my favorite part of that movie.
If you go on YouTube, you can see him freaking out on stage, on this movie he was shooting. But yeah, guys, this has been a movie review and random topics we brought up.
Yeah, mostly Napoleon Dynamite and a few other things. But watch the movie; it's wonderful.
Nice. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Just like I said, keep supporting live comedy. Watch Napoleon Dynamite. Check me out at TOB Comedy on Instagram or Mr. Steal Your Curly Fries. I'm also trying to get into Twitter. I'm not good at it yet. I have like 3 tweets, but I'm at Notorious TOB on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on there,
Notorious?
Notorious TOB.
That's cool.
Yeah. Hey, is it? I like to think so. I hope it is.
I believe so. All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate you having me, man.
No problem. And you guys have an amazing day.